everybody, welcome back to unMadeGaming. We are here for the third game of our 12-hour charity stream. We are back with 6&Twenty Metropolis, despite whatever the name on the screen says. Don't ignore that. You don't see that. And we are back with a returning cast of people. Actually, everyone here has been on the channel before, but not everyone here has been in the 6&Twenty universe, let alone on this stream or this channel. So we'll start with the most reoccurring member of the one-shots. Brahms, who are you? Where can we find you, and who are you playing today?
I am playing Connor. He's the aide to the mayor, and he's also a samurai by night. You can find me generally on here doing one-shots. And then also, I happen to sit around the Twitterverse tweeting out things. You might catch some 6&Twenty tweets now and then. Maybe some other ones. We'll see. Hopefully we'll be starting a game soon. And I just realized that the sound was on for the stream.
That's all right. We didn't hear anything. It's only on for you.
All right. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Sweet. Let's jump over to another member of the 6&Twenty cast. This is your first time on this channel as a 6&Twenty person, I believe. So yeah, Zippy, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I am Zippy Zippo. You can find me here on Twitch at Zippy_Zippo. You can find me on Twitter at gaming.exp. That's spelled D-O-T, not the dot, because Twitter doesn't let you do that. I'm playing Ebenezer McAfee, just a simple cobbler.
I don't believe you.
I don't believe him either. I don't trust him. Don't trust a cobbler.
So let's jump over to the newest edition, fan favorite on the show, or on the channel, newest addition to the 6&Twenty universe. Maddie, who are you? Where can we find you? And who are you playing today?
I am Mad Fishmonger. You can find me online at Mad Fishmonger on the social medias. Today I am playing Paris Vivienne, who might also be a little bit of a Dracula, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this and getting into this universe. And yeah, you can find me a couple of times a week on the Salt and Sassy channel and on Skagit's channel. Playing a really interesting game on Tuesdays, and hopefully we will be starting a City of Mist game ourselves very soon.
Awesome.
Which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah.
Sweet. And guys, go check out Maddie on Twitter. On Twitter, you can find her Etsy store. She makes cool D&D nerdy stuff, so go check that shit out. A lot of handmade stuff. And with that, we'll jump over to everyone's favorite Master of Ceremonies, at least on this channel. Yeah, that math checks out. Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what the hell are we doing today?
I'm not sure I want to answer that. I really don't. I mean, come on, really? Really? All right. Johnny, Video Store Cowboy, Twitch channel, GM for 6&Twenty. I'm here on Wednesday nights for Team Lazarus, Tuesday nights on my channel, and Thursday nights over on Not So Speedruns, all taking place in this little universe that we call 6&Twenty Metropolis. What are we doing today? We are once again venturing back into the realm of... Are you playing Desmond today? You never told me whether you were playing Desmond or not.
I am playing Desmond.
Okay, so we are venturing back into the little world that Desmond and Connor have sort of created around the items that they have stolen from Gold's acquisitions. And two new interesting characters will be joining them in another attempt at identifying, figuring out, or otherwise causing trouble for Mr. Dallas and the rest of the city. So that's generally where we're going to be going with this.
Fantastic. So before we jump right into things here, I will remind you guys this is a charity stream. We are halfway through. We have tripled our goal, and we're pushing for $1,000. Can we do it? Probably. We have 6 hours left to raise $245 if my math is checking out. So yeah, jump in there. Actually, it's even less than that. It's $235 because Rice and Soy Sauce just jumped in there and threw $10 at us. So jump in here, guys. Throw some donations at us. Nat 1s, Nat 20s, NPCs, items, fun stuff like that. And as a reminder, everyone on this stream, you guys all, including Johnny, have 3 Nat 20s. And Johnny, you have 2 Nat 1s to liberally apply wherever you see fit. going in from an earlier donation of a stupid amount of money.
Now, how does that translate in City You Missed? Do we just get one free power tag per 20?
Great. So Nat 20 is a great success.
Oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Nat 20 is a great success, and if you get advantage, that's usually considered a juice with a great success.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Sweet.
And all the crits and fumble, or the crits and failures that I have will typically be applied as hard moves.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. So you have 3 free hard moves, and then you have two crit fails to apply to us, which I guess equals a hard move. I guess.
Exactly. So
perfect. So with that, jump in, Johnny. Take us away to Metropolis.
All right. So previously on 6&Twenty Metropolis, the one shots. Connor and Desmond have previously done a number of little jobs for Mr. Gallows. One of them, which included a deal that Connor made with Mr. Gallows to have Mr. Gallows help Connor to actually figure out more about his mythos, specifically his relic. During the last one shot, Mr. Gallows had Connor go on an adventure to rescue his friend Shen, who turns out to be Egg Shen, a ancient Chinese wizard who now kind of wanders the city. Connor was promised a conversation with Egg, but that didn't quite happen. And so he's now back in the office with Mr. Gallows, trying to figure out what else he can do to facilitate the exploration of this particular mystery. And so that's where we're sort of going to fade in right there. Connor, your situation is very much the frustration over not being able to get in touch with Egg at this point. And so you've asked for another meeting with Mr. Gallows. And he's sitting there across from you at his desk, drink in hand, just looking a little bit more disheveled than you've ever seen him before.
Would you assume that we know each other well enough for me to call him Oscar? Or would it be more of a cordial acquaintance sort of deal?
I think at this point, everything you two have had has been a business relationship still. I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I would think that Connor knows enough about etiquette that he would choose the right thing to say at the right time. However, you do know that given the disheveled nature and the amount of drinking that's going on in front of you with Oscar Bjorn or Mr. Gallows, he's also acting incredibly informal at this point. So when you sit down and he offers you a drink and then he sits down behind the desk, he looks at you and he says, "And what do I owe this honor today, Connor?"
I believe that I've completed a few jobs on your behalf, correct, Mr. Gallows?
And he starts to count on his fingers, and something you've never seen him do before. But as you see this, you also see that he's a little drunk. Yeah, that sounds correct.
There was now you did offer me the gracious offer of drinks for life, which I've graciously accepted. However, there was the other part that I haven't been made good on. Now, I know you're a man of your word. You've always come through. However, in relation to the deal that we made regarding my ring, this particular relic of mine, there has been no more contact with Egg. He's vanished. I don't know where he is. I have no recourse to actually get any more information.
He kind of eyes you, he looks across the desk and kind of just gives you a hard stare. Circumstances sometimes around my friend Egg get a little complicated. As I understand it right now, he is in the employ of somebody who has a dire need for his services. So He thinks real hard about it, and he kind of looks around the room. There is another option for you.
Is there?
There is. But it would mean getting an audience with somebody who may be difficult to approach.
Connor sits back, holding his whiskey, just leans back, takes a sip from the glass, lowers it a bit. I'm listening.
His name is Hashimoto. He owns a private establishment atop of the Hashimoto building. And you see him kind of slur for a second in the downtown, in this district.
Mm-hmm.
But gaining access to that establishment is not easy. You're going to need somebody to get you in the door. And you're going to need some help if there's trouble. And he as he's just kind of communicating with you, as he's having this conversation, you can see that he's really drunk and just sort of kind of moving back and forth, and just his words aren't slurred, but he's clearly off kilter.
Mr. Gallows, are you quite all right?
Times, they are changing. If your need for this information is so important, I will have to facilitate. There's a war coming, and we need all of our warriors.
If a storm's coming, I need to know as much as I can about where I fit in.
And
So I suggest...
If you can't wait for egg, then Hashimoto is your only choice.
Then it looks like I'm on my way to see Hashimoto.
Okay, well, I can recommend a friend who can probably get you in the door, but I would recommend that you bring some muscle.
Well, the Black Nova's, served me pretty good in the past. He's a pretty good sidekick.
You're a monster.
Savage.
He says, all right. Come back here tonight. I'll make introductions. Yes. If there's nothing else.
There isn't. But will you be in a state? Do you be in a better state? He kind of looks at you quizzically in the manner that he's swaying back and forth in the chair.
Nobody can predict that. Nobody can predict how things are going to go. I'll see you tonight, Connor. Make sure that Desmond is here with you.
I'll get him. He'll probably be here before me.
So okay, so you walk out and you see that Tamonte is looking on at you as you're making your way towards the front entrance of Xanadu. There is great concern on his face, but when you try to engage him, he just kind of waves you off and goes back to whatever project he's working on inside of Xanadu. Mm. And so we're going to cut back to that night. Xanadu was open for business. Large sort of crowd is, it's a Saturday night. There's a huge crowd. There's lots of activity. There's lots of dancing. It's 80s night, if I remember correctly. I believe 80s night is Saturday night at Xanadu. I could be wrong. Thank you, Greg. that, you know, that vibe, the 80s appeal, lots of people, you know, in line, you know, kind of dressed very 80s style. There's an 80s cover band just kind of playing music as you're kind of standing at the bar with Desmond at this point, as Mr. Gallus is kind of making his way around the room. We're going to cut to Vivian. Vivian, you have been invited by Oscar Bjorn, also known as Mr. Gallus,
Okay.
the proprietor of Xanadu, whereas Malcolm is the owner of Xanadu. He wants to introduce you to someone because he believes that you can help them, and you owe him a favor at this point. That, you know, to just kind of, you know, facilitate, you know, a social situation.
Yeah.
And so you're also standing at the bar, just kind of a drink in hand. What is your drink of choice?
Oh, wine, of course. Red wine.
Red wine. Okay.
Oh yeah. And she is the has that super 80s goth thing going on. She just has black hair just out to here and just makeup, but it's done perfectly. Everything is just right. And she looks like she could have walked out of, you know, some New York bar in 1987 and just into this place. And yeah, she has a phone in her hand, in the other hand with the wine, and she is just constantly on it.
Okay. And so you can see that Oscar is kind of making his way around the room, doing his thing. He's socializing, introducing himself to everybody, as he typically does on the night. Connor, when you see Mr. Gallus kind of working the room, he looks in much better spirits. He doesn't look disheveled. Both I imagine that you mentioned to Desmond at that point, you know, at some point, that he was looking a little worse for the wear, but in his element, in the moment, he's looking incredibly good. And so we're going to cut to a table all the way across the room. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Alex. Who are you playing?
I am playing Ebenezer McAfee, a well-dressed cobbler. He's in a dark green suit with a red tie. He has short hair that's spiked up in the front. He's old. He's in his 60s. He has a stud in each ear. His hands are encumbered by various rings of gold. And when he smiles, there's a twinkle in his eye. And when he flashes those pearly whites, he has one gold tooth.
Johnny, are you going to take that? He said 60 was old.
Is that how it's going to be played? All right, fine. All right, I get that.
Welcome back to the channel. I miss you.
The most noticeable thing that he wears is a bracelet on his left wrist, which is adorned with several charms.
What is he drinking?
Guinness.
Really, there are better choices than Guinness. Come on.
He only drinks Guinness. He just ordered it, so he's letting it settle.
Is it room temperature?
Not yet. It's almost to that perfect room temperature.
Will it be when he drinks it, though?
Fair point. Okay, and so you see Oscar, or you see Mr. Gallus kind of making his way through the room, and he steps up. Ebenezer.
Oh, Oscar.
It's a pleasure to see you in my club again. What brings you here?
You know, I was just, I was around and I thought to myself, I haven't stepped in on Oscar recently. So I thought I'd pay you a visit, see if you have anything interesting for me.
It's strange that you're here, because I actually could use a bit of a change of circumstance. I'd like to introduce you to somebody, and maybe you can help them. I might owe you a favor if it works out.
You're going to owe me a favor, no matter what.
He looks at you with a little bit of hesitation and then says, depends on how your luck holds up. Follow me.
Oh, Oscar boy. My luck always holds up.
And so he walks you over to Connor. And he says, Connor, Desmond, this is Ebenezer. This gentleman...
This guy's short, by the way. He's like 5'2".
He says, this gentleman is very good at getting out of tight circumstances and situations. You may need a little bit of his brand of action.
Oh, just say for what it is, Oscar. It's magic.
Kind of shrugs and says, magic, luck, whatever. And you see that Connor, and Desmond, you see that Gallus is very just kind of flippant about everything, which is completely unusual. However, he still looks like he's not disheveled. He looks incredibly good at this point. And he says, I also have one more person to bring you, to your attention. She'll be getting you in the door. And he kind of looks over at Vivian and kind of motions for her to step on over.
Yeah, she'll come over, and she's been taking pictures. So she comes over and gets goes and stands with him.
Taking pictures? I'm just curious. Can you elaborate about that? Of herself, of the club, of
herself mostly.
Okay.
Ebenezer looks at this very well put together goth, but being old Ebenezer, he looks up at her head and say, "Oh, what died on your head? What is that on your head? Is that an emu, or a cat?"
Yeah, it's a cat.
Oh, it's a cat. What kind of cat? Is it a black cat? Was it cursed?
Yeah, it's a panther. I had it for breakfast.
Oh, well. I like the I like the brass ones on this one, Oscar.
She's quite brilliant. She can get you in the door anywhere, something that even you can't seem to accomplish, Ebenezer, with your magic.
Magic.
Can't hear you, Desmond.
I'm just struggling to see actual madfish in a club. Like I can't picture it. It's throwing me off.
I've never done the duck face.
Just voguing in the photos.
I've never done that.
Oh
No, but
man.
she knows how to pose. Like, she's actually a professional model. So when she's taking the picture, she's not like making the silly face. Like, she's actually getting into the most. She has this real knack for just finding the perfect lighting and that perfect pose. And she turns her phone around to show you, and she's just like, yeah, I can get in anywhere. I mean, everybody wants to be on my social media. And she shows you, and she's just got like a ridiculous amount of followers on her thing.
Ebenezer pulls out some bifocals. Oh,
it's a big number.
How many of those do you actually know?
Oh, a lot of them send me things and talk to me, and everybody wants to be my friend.
Oh, you're doing great, dearie.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep up the good work. Keep doing what you're doing. I am parched. Can I get some whiskey?
Whatever you want, Ebenezer.
Wonderful.
Gallows. He turns to Vivian. They need to get into Hashimoto's. They need to see him. He's referring to the owner of Hashimoto's.
Would I know Hashimoto?
You would absolutely by reputation, but for Vivian, this is the kind of thing where it's a private club that very few people, with an exclusive guest list that she would definitely be able to get into. You, on the other hand, having the reputation that you have, even though you're a simple cobbler, would not be able to, nor would Connor or Desmond, because Connor is, an assistant, the aide to the mayor, the current mayor, and Desmond is just some kid who likes to call himself Black
Star.
Gray Nova.
You
Gray
know
Nova.
what you fucking you shits. You know it's Black Star. I'm a goddamn superhero.
Black Nova. I was about to be like, wait, isn't that an actual thing?
I'm a real superhero.
I blame Charlie.
Black
I blame
Star.
Charlie and JP.
Is this what is it? Soul Eater?
Yes.
Are you Black Star?
I am absolutely
Is everyone
Black Star from Soul Eater.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, this is great.
I even have Tsubaki.
Okay.
She changes in different shapes.
Wonderful.
Jesus, you guys stop nerding now, you weirdos. Okay, so Gallus looks at Vivian and says, "They need in the door. What you do once you get in there, that's up to you. If you want to help them out, but we'll call that a debt paid. This is a favor. This is me fulfilling a debt for Connor here. I hope I don't cause you too much trouble tonight, Viv."
Well, if they can behave themselves in my presence.
And with that, he looks over at Black Star.
We'll be fine. But you have to dress for the club, right? Like,
Does it have a
properly?
specific dress code?
Well, in terms you could understand, you're Sunday best.
Are sleeves optional?
How best is Sunday best? Is it like Victorian, or is it more like what I'm wearing?
Well, it is a modern club.
Oh, how boring. All right. Come on, boys. I know just the place to get you some Sunday best.
Is this not okay?
Just please don't embarrass me. I'd like to be able to continue to go to that club.
So, tight black
We'll
shirt,
try.
no sleeves, not acceptable.
No. You need maybe like a button-up shirt, a nice vest, or we could get you some slacks. I know the best place to get you some shoes.
Where does my katana go?
Well, you could probably get it in in like a staff or a cane.
Okay. I could do with that.
All right, okay.
All right, I guess so. Who's buying this now?
Oh, you guys will just owe me one or two discreet favors.
Sounds like a
Other than
super
that,
fun
it's on
thing
the
to say.
house, really.
All right.
Gallus looks at Ebenezer, looks back at Desmond and Connor. You don't want to owe him any favors. I would suggest you find another way to pay for it.
I have I have a company credit card, so
Oh, you have a
I
company
really-
credit card. You shouldn't have told me that, lad. We're going shopping.
Oh, you're buying me one too, Connor, right?
That's what I
I-
heard.
I was actually planning on it,
Yes.
Black Nova.
Star. Damn it.
I pull out.
We've had adventures.
I pull out
It's
my
Star.
phone, and it's one of those old Virgin Mobile from like the
sidekick.
2000s. No, not even that. It's really old. It doesn't even have it has like a digital screen
Oh, the
with little
Nokia, the
buttons.
indestructible
Yeah.
Nokia.
And he starts punching in numbers, and he calls his friend First, he calls his friend Monty, who is the tailor.
Are you sure you aren't going to call Jessup at Suits? I'm sorry, that was too.
It's true.
That was too soon.
It was a solid reference there.
So he calls up Monty. Hello there, Monty. It's Ebby.
What do you want, Ebenezer?
Oh, I just got a few wee ones coming over to get fitted for some Sunday best. We're going to go over to Hashimoto's.
Cash money, Ebenezer.
Oh, what about company credit cards?
As long as it ends up being dollars in my pocket at the end of the day, Ebenezer.
Doesn't it always, Monty? When was the last time we did a job and you didn't get paid?
2 weeks ago, Ebenezer.
That was not my fault. You can call
me money, Ebenezer.
You need to talk to Hal about that. You know what? I'm going to call him right now, and I'll get this all sorted out. I'll get it all sorted out. Don't worry. I got your back. And he hangs up, and he then punches in the numbers for Hal, the haberdasher. Hal there, hey buddy.
Yes, Ebenezer, what can I do for you today?
First off, you need to go and pay you need to go pay Monty.
Ebenezer, we talked about this the last time.
I don't care. You got to pay him.
No.
Unless you want the tailors and the haberdashers to go to war, and the cobblers aren't going to be doing shite all about any of it. So what you need to do is you need to pay Monty, and we're coming over. I want your best wallets. I want your best poker chiefs. I want you. You know what? And I look over at Black Star. This one would look amazing in an ascot. Get us your finest ascots. Oh, and get a nice little pin too. You know, we need something that sparkles, really shows off his. What color is Black Star's eyes?
Blue.
Something that really brings out the blueness in his eyes.
Connor, I didn't know the fashion industry was this cutthroat.
I know this is. I have a company credit card. It's all being taken care of. Make sure it's the good stuff too.
Well, you better hurry because I'm closing soon.
Oh, you're not closing for me. And he hangs up. All right, boys, let's go get you fitted for some tailors, and then we'll go get you some accessories. And then we could go back to my place, and I'll make you some nice shoes.
Fashion district bad guys? What? Sorry, I was taking notes.
So is Vivian joining them on this little fashion montage, or is she doing her own thing at this point?
Well, I think she's super 80s up right now. So
Obviously.
If she's going to a different club, she's going to have to change.
So to fill in the blank a little bit about Hashimoto's, it's something that Vivian would absolutely know, right? She would understand. It is the kind of place where it is a high class exclusive club, which basically is a front for a criminal organization. Vivian, being the socialite that she is, and having the exposure to all things that involve, sort of the underbelly of all of, sort of the underbelly of crime, and some of the more extravagant elements or the more mythical elements of it, know that Hashimoto himself isn't quite what he seems. He looks like an incredibly humble man, but you sense a power about him. And so the club itself is very much a sort of posh situation. It's atop of the Hashimoto, industries, or I can't remember, the conglomerate high rise. And it's very exclusive. It's always really, really quiet in there. It's not a, kind of a crazy aggressive place. It's more of a sort of a sit down, sort of a lounge place where business is done.
Okay.
And it's kind of exclusive. But so you would want to probably change in that respect.
Oh yeah. So she will, but she will agree to go and meet at Connor's place for because she does have some interest in his custom making shoes.
Oh,
So
Ebenezer's.
Ebenezer. Sorry, I'm terrible at names. Yes, Ebenezer. So she will meet. She'll get your address.
Yeah, he'll pull out a card. It's a very nice card. It's on eggshell white offset with beautifully embossed lettering.
Is that Helvetic and U, or is it Times Roman?
Times Roman
with the herringbone outline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's aghast at the state of your phone, but she she takes it, and she'll meet up with you guys after. She's gonna go get all glammed up.
Okay, so for all intents and purposes, I think there's going to be a story tag on each of you. And this is something that you'll indicate on your character sheet. Bespoke.
Glamazon. Oh.
Glamazon? What?
Glamazon.
What did you say?
So bespoke.
Cool. So for those of us that are new to the sweet, dope-ass new... Actually, you know what? I think I can show it on screen, how dope it is and how new it is. Nope. We're getting there somewhere. It's a professional stream. There we go. Found it. Guys, this is the new awesome character sheet that we haven't really been able to showcase on stream before. Check this shit out. And you can actually, as Johnny was saying, you can actually put down status tags. The tag is, what do you say, bespoke? And it's a story tag?
Yes. It's a story tag and it's bespoke. So, and that'll be a positive story tag for you guys.
Okay.
So for Brahms and Madfish, if you scroll down on your character sheet, you'll see that there's a bunch of status ones. On the right hand side of that, there's one that looks like a price tag. You click on that, and that turns into a story tag, and you type in bespoke and click on the plus sign, and that makes it a positive story tag.
So anytime you roll in a social situation coming up, that will apply. So, okay. So we're going to cut to Ebenezer's. I'm going to let Ebenezer describe his place after getting them both suited up and some great accessories.
It looks like, so at the front end looks like a really good, like, man, what's the high class suit? I don't even know, but the expensive suit store that I know, Men's Warehouse. But besides shoes, besides suits, it's just shoes. Huh? No, it's not the Kingsman. That's Monty's.
Right.
Because he is a tailor. I'm just a cobbler. And so the front end, it has all these beautiful shoes from very well-known designers. And then more towards the back, near the register, are all of his custom-made ones that show off like his skill. In the back where they would be, it looks like a simple, old shoe shop. You have the big machinery that replaces the nails on the soles, the stitching machine and whatnot. So they would be in the back right now. And then there is a backpack of just special curios that he acquires and whatnot.
Right.
Little baubles. There is a little crock of gold sitting right on the table in the workroom.
Okay. Does that crock have any specifically interesting properties to it, or is it just sort of a dull sort of?
It's very alluring if somebody were to like spend too much time looking at it. But other than that, continue.
Okay. So as the four of you are coming in, coming together at the Taylor's, or at the Connor's, or sorry, not Connor's, Ebenezer's cobbler, because the cobbler and Connor sound a lot alike in my head right now. So I'm just gonna roll with that, and luckily I haven't called you Henry yet, which is an important part.
Now you said it. Now it's gonna happen.
Fuck shit. You're right. Absolutely. Okay. So the four of you come together, and Vivian gets a text from Tamonte. Tamonte being the bouncer from Xanadu, somebody that you would also have an intimate relation, or not an intimate connection with, based on the relationship that you have with Gallos. Tamonte is his right hand man / enforcer at Xanadu, and Tamonte says, you might want to let the boys know there might be some trouble. Appears that security is doubled at Hashimoto's tonight.
Guys, there might be something. We need to be on our guard.
Something
going on.
Why? What happened?
There might be something going on at Hashimoto's. I'm not getting any details, but they're well, I mean, you guys like know about Hashimoto's, right?
I mean, only by reputation. Not that I actually go there. We tend to stay on our side of the street and let Hashimoto run his thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you can just show up, have a few drinks, enjoy the atmosphere, go home, no big deal. But there are back rooms, let's say. Things happen.
Back rooms? What are you talking about? There's no back room.
I don't have one either.
Wait a minute. When you said it, I don't know what that means. Is it an actual back room?
No, there's no such thing as a back room. Don't even go towards that back wall.
I'll just kind of lean on the wall a little bit.
Don't do it.
Nails. They're quite long and kind of sharp looking. It's odd how she can type with them.
Right. So, and he goes over to like a big safe, and he cranks in the combination. He opens up. There's his little walking stick that he has, and then there is arms, like assault rifles. So, and he pulls out the walking stick. Are we talking about I need this for protection, and then he pulls out an AR-15, or do I need this for protection?
Well, if you think you can walk in the front door of Hashimoto's with that.
Well, you said I have to be prepared. So do I need Old Faithful, or do I need the cheese grater?
Something subtle.
Oh, all right. And he puts the gun back into the gun safe and he closes it and then spins the combination dial. Right. Wonderful. All right, boys. Sit up on the table. Let me take a look at your feet.
Is this something
That's
weird?
not awkward.
Where is this happening right now?
We're in the cobbler shop.
In Ebenezer's cobbler shop.
That doesn't make it less weird.
Oh, I'm gonna make you guys shoes.
Oh, okay.
Connor,
You
Connor
buried the
does-
lead on that one. You just said hop up on the table and show me your feet. That's weird.
Oh, I said I do. Oh, okay, I said I'm gonna make you guys shoes. All right.
He's like, okay, all right. I thought this was like a weird video. He jumps up on the table.
Given that you went to a tailor and you went to a haberdashery, and now you're at the cobbler, and Ebenezer is the cobbler, I think I'm going to have Ebenezer actually roll something here in respect to the game to see what happens and how good his shoes actually are.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
And then I'm going to want you to describe the process of making the shoes just real quickly. And the last question, or the last thing I'm going to raise in all of this is, do you make something for Vivian?
She's already decked out in what
She's dressed to the nines already. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right.
He would.
Mm-hmm. Well, she'll tell you that she wants to see your work first, and then if she likes it, she might commission you to make her some some custom shoes later.
Okay.
There you go.
But she's wearing like absurd, platform spike heel things. They look impossible to walk in, but she just sort of floats around on them.
Okay, Alex, what are you putting for this role?
So he is going to roll steady hands, eye for detail, dressed to impress, because he wants them to look their best.
Okay.
He touches his charm bracelet, and a little clover glows, and that's going to be clover for luck.
Okay.
And then he's going to attempt to enchant these shoes. And this is all like jumping forward into the process, but when he starts making the shoes, he's going to touch a rabbit foot charm on his charm bracelet, and that's going to be rabbit's foot for speed.
Okay.
And then I think I'm going to invoke the weakness Old Geezer, because he's old.
Okay.
And he's old. He may think that he's all that in a bag of chips, but he might just be old. So let's roll. Change the game.
Do it.
Okay, great success.
Awesome. So, with great success, you have 4 power tags that were a part of the roll, but because the first one counts as 2 in a great success, you have 5 juice to spend in this particular scene.
Okay,
How do you want to spend?
So
And you
two,
spend them in the scene.
yeah, 2 juice are going to be make a pair of shoes, make a pair of shoes to create the objects.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend 2 juice to put story tags on those shoes called Enchanted Speed, which allows them to use a power tag of enchanted shoes to if they're using to get away or move.
Well, so any movement. So it's a story tag that for any physical movement of any kind, or like an attack or whatever, it'll count as a +1.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one is he's going to hide all of this.
Hide the effect.
He's going to hide the effect to make it look like he's just stitching together some shoes.
Okay, so for Connor and Desmond, make sure you guys add that to one of your status cards. It's a story tag of the cobbler shoes with the actual effect. So just FYI. Okay. And so as you're kind of making this and doing all of this, what does it look like to them? Is there any sort of magical effect that kind of like infuses the narrative of this, or is it just like you simply look like you're making really awesome shoes?
Well, he measures
Really
the
quickly.
feet. He cuts out the leather fabrics. He stitches them together. He makes the eyelets, and he cuts out the sole. And it's when he cuts out the sole, and he's putting the sole to the shoe, he marks it with like he takes out a carving knife and he kind of engraves this very intricate knot on the back heel of platform of the shoe, and that he kind of like touches each shoe, the knot to the charm bracelet, and it kind of just glows that emerald green and then just kind of dissipates. And then he turns around and he hands the shoes to the boys. There you are. A brand new spanking pair of shoes that should last you a lifetime.
So the best part about this is that Ebenezer has no idea who Desmond is or the fact that he's a speedster. You just exponentially increased how fast he goes. And my weakness tag for that is time-space continuum breaks. I warp time-space around me. That's my weakness tag.
Miss Vivian, would you like me to whip you up something? Shoes? Oh, I could do a nice little bracelet if you'd like. I know I normally do cobblery, but I've branched out into haberdashery, even though Hal doesn't like it. Just a little bit. I'm not too good. Oh, you want to? Would you like a? Ooh, would you like a nice choker to go with your ensemble?
Yes, that would be lovely.
Ooh, that would be simple. It just takes a little bit of leather. I'm going to make it look nice, though. It's going to look amazing. You're going to absolutely love it. I believe that 110%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he's going to attempt to make just a little makeshift accessory. I will take a minus because I am not a haberdasher. I am a cobbler, but he's going to attempt to make it the thing that Ebenezer likes to do. He likes to enchant things, So he's going to let's do steady hands, eye for detail. Not dressed for impressed, because he's not unsure. This is unsure territory. It's not like he's making shoes. And he's going to do the same thing, but instead of the rabbit's foot, a horseshoe on his charm bracelet glows, and he's going to invoke and enchant this choker with strength. It's the horseshoe of strength. And then he's going to try to change the game.
Nice.
Another great success.
You've got 3 to spend in this particular case. So how are you going to spend them?
1 to create the choker, 1 to imbue it with the story tag horseshoe of strength.
Okay.
And 3 to hide it.
Okay. Excellent.
There you are, Miss Vivian. Beautiful, subtle, just like yourself.
Subtle is not a word that describes her in any respect.
I know.
But she puts it on and she pulls out her phone and she's like, takes a bunch of pictures and she's very grateful. She does like it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. But
now, if you could do me a favor and get off the back wall.
She'll stop. No, pictures do show up because modern cameras don't use mirrors. Vintage cameras do. Modern cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Okay.
Very nice distinction there, by the way.
Oh yeah. Are there any mirrors in the room?
There would be a mirror on the workbench, so if he has to do any symmetrical work on one side, he can have it faced that way. So all he has to do is look into the mirror and see kind of the design and keep it going, kind of deal.
Okay. Like, I'm not entirely sure how this would.
If you're standing by his workbench, he probably wouldn't. He'd probably look into the mirror and notice that you're not standing there, and then he'd think that weird and be like, oh, that must be the new stuff that kids are into these days.
Not showing up
being there.
The new cat.
Being there, but not really being there. It's a big.
The whole
it's a millennial thing.
Yeah, it's a millennial thing. It's the disconnect.
It's like I'm here, but I'm not really here at all.
It's like I'm here, but I'm not really here. I'm over there, but I'm not really.
It's life is a construct. It's more of an illusion, if anything. It's
of course, illusions.
Oh no! Why is this happening?
Because it is.
So we have shoes. We've been haberdashed. We have buttons and bracelets and all those kind of fun things and suits. Where are we going?
We are going to Hashimoto's.
I think
Go ahead.
So I'm not.
I was going to say, I think it's time for our slow motion, walk down the hallway with the dramatic music,
So,
Very Reservoir Dogs or Boondock Saints kind of a thing.
We're all dressed. We're all dressed up looking good. Yeah.
Oh wait, if we're going to Hashimoto's, I think I need to go get something. He goes in and he picks up just this coil of hempen rope, and he throws it over his shoulder. All right, now we're ready to go.
Wait. You were just dragged over to my table, and you were dragged over to my table, and Connor, you just sat down at my table, and you were real light on the details. Why are we going to Hashimoto's?
I have no idea, but this is going to be fun, and I've got rope. It'll be great.
No, I'm there with you. But what are we doing? Are we just having a fun time? Because that's what it sounds like.
No.
Okay.
I spoke to Gallows. I spoke to Gallows. We're going to find out about my relic.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay, because I was just going to hang out.
He hasn't been able to make good on the promise that we discussed last time. So.
Right.
I do know an appraiser you could take it to. Me and him are actually good friends.
I think we took it from an appraiser.
Yeah, we did. We didn't take it from an appraiser. We've kept it from an appraiser.
Oh yeah.
Gold's Acquisition has been trying to get.
Oh,
their
you
hands
know
on my
him.
relic.
He and I are best friends.
Maybe don't tell him that you know Connor.
Oh no. Could I see your ring?
Connor, kind of, just maybe when I find a bit more about it, Ebenezer.
Oh, all right. Do you want to see my charm bracelet? It's actually really nice.
He as much as he wants to, he's kind of leery because he's gotten this feeling from Gallows kind of, warding him off of Ebenezer just to keep on his toes around him. So he's kind of just, that's all right. I think I'm good. I appreciate the offer though.
Kids today, all they care about are their video games and their cell phones and their magic rings, not knowing anything about magic bracelets. Now, back where I come from, magic bracelets were all the rage.
And we're going to cut to...
Yeah. 2 hours pass.
Right. Before 2 hours pass, and Ebenezer Mall back in his day, because he's going to be that old guy, get off my lawn. Back
in my day, we had selkies, we had red caps. Actually, that's where
you're arriving at the Hashimoto building coming out of an Apollo. When you arrive, you see that there is a set of private security individuals standing at the door, just kind of assessing the situation. There's a couple other individuals entering at the time and walking through. Seated in a wheelchair is an incredibly old man, flanked by 3 big burly individuals stepping into the building itself. They pass security very quickly and step inside, and they disappear into the building. And they look expectantly as you've just arrived after these 3 individuals plus this person in a wheelchair just passing through.
Well, does Connor make that face?
Oh, Connor does not make that face. That is totally out of character.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's a nice guy. You know what? I'd love to be that old where I'm in a wheelchair and I'm flanked by 3 beautiful women as they take me around club to club.
What gave you the impression that they were women?
No, they're not. I mean, he's not assuming the big burly dude's genders, but he's just saying he'd rather be in a wheelchair flanked by 3 strong, independent, beautiful women.
Okay.
And that's beauty in all kinds of beauty.
So they're looking at all of you expectantly, and they're getting a little concerned. The 2 of them are looking at
the 3 burly men. Do they look familiar? Can I give you something? Investigate.
They're wearing nice suits, so if you want to see if they're doing something else, sure, you can give me an investigate.
I kind of want to see their face.
You might be able to see their face if you use one of your super fast abilities.
I was gonna say Desmond just runs up to like, stops right in front. And...
Yeah, I'm gonna use my super fast ability to investigate.
Okay.
So I'm gonna investigate, and I'm gonna use blah 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 blah. I'm gonna use the super fast shoes, which is great.
Okay.
I'm going to use my super speed.
Okay.
And I'm going to use nimble as a fox to make sure I don't eat shit. And then, we're investigating, so I'm going to use snooping around.
Okay.
And the shoes. Boop. So that's a +4. And I'm gonna activate my status effect or my weakness tag of time space overload.
Okay.
Since I'm now moving at double speed, or quadruple speed, I guess. So investigate. Pachow! Great success.
Ask me your questions.
Are these the guys we fought underground in that warehouse?
At the Wing Kongs?
Yes, I couldn't think of the name of the
Yes.
exchange. Yes, they are?
Yes,
The
they are the same individuals.
Shit. One of those guys has laser fingers.
I cut one of those guys in half.
Yeah, you did. You sure did. You said they're looking at us?
No. The two doormen, essentially private security, are looking at you expectantly. But the three of them plus the person in the wheelchair went inside.
Okay. My other question is there an alternate entrance to this building?
Oh, there are plenty of alternate entrances to this building. It is a high-rise. It goes up 100 stories into the sky.
Okay. So I guess the question would be, what's the most Desmond accessible entrance to this place?
Probably the underground parking structure.
Okay. So that was question number 2. And guys, if you have a question, I have one more clue that I can go through.
You want to save it for later because the scene's going to go on for a fair bit.
Yeah, I'll save it. I'll save it for later in this same scene.
Okay. All right. So, two private security at the door looking at you.
I'll walk up to the bouncers.
Oh, sorry.
And,
Desmond would have told you all those guys. I totally spaced. He would tell you about the 3 guys in the wheelchair. Well, he wouldn't know the wheelchair guy, but he would tell you that the 3 guys are ninjas, and one of them shoots lightning.
What?
And
Yes.
sorry, and Connor would I'd be like, Connor would be like, those are the guys we fought last time.
Yeah, the ones inside the Wing Kong. Yeah.
Wait,
remember the
hold
one
on a
time when
minute.
we
You guys
activated
already
the
fought the laser shooting ninjas.
Yeah. Well, just one of them shoots lasers. I think the other
Oh.
one makes water, and then I don't know what the other one did. And
You
then he
briefly
cut one
saw-
in half.
Wait a minute. Why were you fighting ninjas?
Well, I'm
They're
a
supposed to
ninja.
stay on their side of the city.
Well, I'm a ninja all the time, so that's kind of my thing. And he does ninja stuff too, also. But we were in one place, and we had to find a guy, or eggs, named Eggs. He had eggs. Anyway, we found a guy, and there was a dragon statue, and I don't know what happened. I'm just filling in details. I went the other direction, and then I came up with the what was the gang called, Johnny?
God, I can't remember. Why can't? Hold on, I've got it written down here. Hold on.
The somethings. You know, the somethings.
From the movie. That's the
Neon
thing.
Dragons.
The
Right,
Neon
the
Dragons, yeah.
Neon
And then
Dragons.
the Neon Dragons were there, and then these guys were there, and then we were all fighting them, and then I made fog, and then we all escaped. I think. Yeah. And then Egg, the man with eggs, came out, and he had a bus? Anyway.
The entire time that he's recounting this, Connor's just kind of pinching the bridge of his nose and just
Ebenezer just kind of stares at you two. Oh, that's very good, boys. Just keep it outside.
Well, no, that
and,
guy's definitely going to fight us. For sure.
Oh, I don't think
Yeah, I
he will.
don't-
All right.
he looks at you a bit. Connor looks at you a bit skeptically at that notion, considering what he went through with the 3 storms last time.
I place a hand on Connor's shoulder. He's not going to do anything to you, boy. Not when old Ebenezer's here.
Care to shake on that?
I would love to shake on it. But if we shake, we're making a bet. And if I win, you owe me a favor.
If I shake, does that mean I caught you?
I don't know what you're implying, boy.
I think you do.
Oh.
And he smiles
Oh,
broadly.
You look at a foreigner who's about 5'1", who makes shoes, who knows a little bit about magic, and you immediately think he's a leprechaun. Oh, that's racist.
Connor's eyes just flash a little red.
I'm just
Only if it
giggling.
wasn't true.
I'm just like sitting in the back.
I don't know. Would you
Vivian
like
Instagramming.
three wishes and find out?
He
All right.
nods vigorously.
Well, all right,
She's
what's your
Hermes
first
chatting
wish?
the whole thing.
I wish to know everything there is to know about my particular relic.
Okay. Hand me the ring. I can tell you.
From anybody else that isn't you, let me amend that.
Oh well, I can't. I mean, I could get you into Hashimoto's, but I mean, I don't know what you want me to do about that. I could get you inside. Would you rather me get you inside?
How about? Well, I think Vivian's got that covered.
You know what? How about I give you this wish on the house, boyo? Are there any like balconies or anything?
High
Just
rise.
like I mean, okay, so it's a high rise. Assume I don't know what a high rise is.
Okay. There's
Just-
no balconies.
Okay. Is how high up is the roof?
100 stories.
He's going to teleport Connor up 100 stories onto the roof.
Take a risk.
Yep.
This is not a change game. This is take a risk, definitely.
I'm
Fey
just gonna end up in a
magic,
wall.
I'm sorry,
teleportation.
Connor. I was trying to focus on you, but man, this is going to get out of control. Good luck.
Eye for detail, so he knows to put him on top of the roof, not off to the side. And he's going to whisper into his bracelet and ask for a little bit of luck. So a clover for luck. So he looks at Connor, snaps his fingers, and Connor just blinks out of existence and then blinks on top of the 100-story building.
Connor.
Huh. He just kind of sits there for a second. He goes, huh. This must be what it likes to feel like a black star.
Pretty much.
Well played. So you flash from the ground, a glass structure in front of you. The three other members of your crew is sort of standing there. As Ebenezer snaps, you immediately find yourself on the roof of the Hashimoto building. The Hashimoto building at its top is this beautiful sort of glass sort of structure that is architecturally different than the rest of the building. This top level that you're standing on top of actually is like a glass, has a glass floor for what you're perceiving at, but it's actually a glass ceiling to a darkened apartment sort of setting that is the top floor, and below that is a number of other stories, about 5 stories of something, below this apartment structure, and you can vaguely hear music in the distance. But, and I'm going to use one of my hard moves here, the wind is gusting pretty terribly, and you get swept off the building because there's a gust that just kind of, comes up and just kind of carries you, sending you falling. What do you want to do?
Okay. And
Run down on the ground. There, I've made a wish come true. He is now inside the building. Well, he might be on top of it, but I'm pretty sure there's an access hatch up there. And wait a minute, did he jump?
Is he currently like plummeting out of the sky?
He is currently plummeting. He has not reached terminal velocity yet.
Where is he?
Okay, how close?
How close to the building is he?
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest.
He gets swept pretty, he gets swept out, but he's just kind of falling parallel to the building, very close. I'm not going to say so close that he's going to hit anything going on his way down, but yeah, he's falling currently.
All right.
Okay, so if he's close enough, he would go ahead and probably you'd see his hand turn blue, and then you'd see a spirit katana materialize. And then you would just see him kind of flip in the air and just dig it right into the side of the building, and then hopefully be able to slow down some.
All right. Because I didn't give you a chance to face danger in this particular case, I'm going to give you a choice of what you want to use here, because typically this seems like a take a risk for you to do that.
Yeah.
But I think there's also an option for you to change the game here in some way using the katana. So which would you prefer to roll?
I think I'm going to go change the game.
Okay.
In this case, because he's going to try and get into the building somehow.
Okay.
Because where, in relation to the glass flooring, where is he? Is he past that now? Is he falling to the building proper?
He got swept off and is starting to fall the 100 stories down to the ground.
Yeah. No.
On the side of the building.
Yeah. No. But is there any access port that he could actually get into at this point that he would potentially have access to?
No.
Okay.
No, he would get swept off. He would fall the first couple of stories very quickly, or he would be so distracted by getting swept off, he wouldn't be able to react in time to be able to access those top floors. And now he's falling along the building proper itself. And there's not any type of vents or anything else. It's all just a real glass structure that he would.
Okay.
Okay. So you're gonna change the game then.
Yep.
Okay.
Change
so what power
game.
tags apply here?
So can turn into any weapon. So let's see. Probably athletic.
If he dies, do you think I could use the ring?
I don't know.
I'm going to say common. Go ahead.
No,
Finish
go
the
ahead.
sentence.
No. I'm not gonna. I'm nice. Go ahead.
I was going to say common to storm.
Okay, that actually applies. You're in a setting of danger, but it actually works.
So that's 3.
Okay, roll it.
So with the new sheet, if it has power 3, will that automatically count towards the success rate?
Yes.
Okay. Great success.
All right, so you've got 3 juice, or actually you have 4 juice. The first one counts as 2, and then you got 3 and 4. So what do you want to do with it?
Okay, so I can't remember what can I do with my juice. I'm trying to remember because I haven't had much chance to use juice.
If you go into it's not in this game.
Yeah, we don't have the. It may have been missing. It may have been there previously.
Wait,
but
what are you
with the
looking
new
for?
sheets.
He wants to know
just
what he can do with his juice.
I can't recall.
You can create or summon an object. You can amplify the effect, as in make it last longer. You can hide the effect. You can create a story tag, or you can create or remove a story tag, if I remember correctly.
Or you can do pretty much anything else as long as I agree to it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. It's like the wish
Okay.
spell in D&D.
It is like the wish spell in D&D, except that your wording is not going to affect how I'm going to screw you over.
Okay, fun.
I'm not going to play semantics. At least not yet. Maybe later.
So,
So
in relation to where he's falling in the building, because he obviously this is not a good situation for him.
nope.
He would like to try and punch through the wall or at least maybe cut through the wall would be more appropriate to make an entrance to actually get into the location.
He's gonna smash a window.
That's what I was thinking, like initially when I asked Johnny if the glass structure was still around.
Well, so you're falling down essentially the tower itself of the building, right? And so you're beginning to fall. You've pulled out your relic, and you're changing the game here by smashing through a window, essentially, just kind of using your momentum and kind of crashing through.
I would be, because I have to get out of the current situation that I'm in, which is like dire peril, versus regardless if there may be somebody in the area that I fall into, it's definitely going to be an improvement over falling to my death.
Okay, so you have the 4 story tags then. So just describe to me with those 4, those 4 juice. You have those 4 juice.
Yeah.
Describe to me how that works. I mean, is it, for example, is it one of those juices change your momentum in some way to, like do some sort of body move and change your momentum so that you crash into the window? And then the second one would be, you successfully get through without getting hurt, right? And just kind of give me something that helps me kind of narrate you through all of this.
Okay, so what he would do is, with the first juice, he would go ahead and use the katana to slow his movement to a point where he's actually not falling anymore. He would then proceed to, like, with the momentum, swing into the window with his shoulder, smashing into the window, going into a roll, and then coming up with the katana blade facing outwards so that he could potentially, deflect any incoming danger that might be, coming at him.
Okay, so it sounds like changing momentum is the one juice that we talked about.
Yep.
Another juice is you getting through the window successfully. You pulling your blade or having your blade, I think, is just a normal, something normal.
At the ready.
So your 2 other juice that you have, do you want to create a situation where it's like empty? Do you want to create a story tag where it's like empty room so that you aren't facing danger at that point?
I suppose that's fair, because or I could always hang on to them and then use them in conjunction to the scene, since this is still going on. Isn't that something we've been doing with with the ongoing 6&Twenty?
Well, so the scene is going on for now, right? So if you want to hold on to them, you can. Just do me a favor, look it up in the book, looking at the core moves, or looking at the move for change the game to make sure that you know what you're gonna do next. But so coming into that room, you kind of crash in and you pull your sword as you stand up, and there's nobody there. It's an empty room. But you appear to be about 20 stories below the top of the building.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna cut back to Ebenezer, Desmond, and Vivian at the bottom. As
I knew he'd get in.
As you hear a crash, and there's glass falling, and the 2 physical security guys kind of look up, step out of the way a little bit, and then start to pull their guns, looking at the 3 of you.
I just came here to go to the club. I don't know what's going on.
I'm here to do business.
Yeah, and I'm not actually here at all. And Desmond takes off.
Runs.
Desmond takes off.
I'm gonna try and kind of charm them in the sort of we're not involved.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah, we're innocent bystanders. We have nothing to do with this. So like I wanna kind of do a little bit of that minor manipulation to just sort of get them to sort of ignore us, and we can just sort of walk past while they're busy dealing with it.
Okay, so so for you, this is so looking at your character sheet. There's not any power tags that we didn't complete the process, but we're just gonna indicate positive statuses at the top in the taking action. So in the plus column or the plus area, you're just gonna click the number of times. And so when I look at your descriptions, like glamour, there's a couple elements of glamorous that might help you here, right? So there's the popular social media personality and being recognized, right? So I think that counts as 2 power tags right there. Is there anything else in your descriptions that you think really kind of applies here?
Because there's sort of that typical, vampire power of being able to sort of mildly manipulate people, getting them to do what you want, getting them to either pay attention to you or not pay attention to you, to ignore a behavior, not or sort of not think twice about your odd-colored eyes or whatever, just that kind of just enough to kind of I mean, obviously I'm dressed to the nines. I look fantastic. Like, I'm taking pictures of myself, and obviously if they know who I am, I've never been a troublemaker. I'm very, very concerned about my reputation. So
could I throw a power tag or two to help her?
Hold on a second. So that's 3 power tags I'm hearing for you right now.
Okay.
So that's the social media, that's the loves attention, and then that's the sort of that charming vampire-esque element to this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to the thing that Ebenezer gave her. What was the status on? What were the status tags on that as well?
Strength.
Oh, it was strength. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, something else. Okay. All right.
Okay, so that's 3.
That's 3 so far for you. Ebenezer, what did you want to try to throw at this?
I'll throw dressed to impress, and people respect me. Because they would know, because he would introduce himself, probably give him a card, and as soon as they noticed it was Ebenezer McAfee, they would know of the gentleman's triad between the haberdashery, the tailor, and the cobbler. We're well known.
So guns are pointed at you right now. That kind of a situation, you're not going to get a chance to exchange cards. This isn't a social encounter at this point. It is a defensive encounter. And she is probably trying to convince them versus giving you an opportunity for a social situation here.
He'll still, and while they're pointing his guns at, he's just going to point the card at them and just walk up close to them.
Okay, but it's not going to count as a benefit here.
That's fine.
That's not a social situation. Okay, so roll with for Vivian. It does sound like a cinematic or sort of core move of convince, unless you think there's another way that you want to do this, right? Is there some
convince is basically what I'm trying to do. Just convince them that we're innocent bystanders, don't pay attention to us.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Then go ahead and click on that and let's roll it.
Okay, so I have the plus in taking action. I click convince.
Yep.
Okay. I clicked it. Oh, there it goes. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so there are two results that can happen here. You can extend them a status of some kind, which makes which in this particular case would make them more amiable to you with any role that you make moving forward, or you change what their agenda is, which means that you can affect that whether they're going to come after you or do something else. Because you've got a great success, you have a lot of flexibility here as to what their agenda actually becomes.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I know that this was Connor, right? Okay. So I'm gonna, kind of get both of their attentions, get them both to look me in the eye, and her eyes will glow red for a moment. And she will say, some obnoxious hoodlums are throwing large rocks at the building. One of them hit a window. You're going to hurry us in to protect us from these hooligans, and focus on continuing to protect the building. If that works.
Yep, absolutely. So they focus on your eyes for a second as they're pulling the guns. The guns are coming up. Ebenezer, you watch this as they're going on, and then Vivian just kind of steps up and says, says what she says, and they just kind of freeze for a second. And one of them immediately turns his gun and starts scanning the area like in the distance, and the other one rushes up and kind of motions for you and Ebenezer to kind of slip inside, right? Mm-hmm. Open the door, and they escort you in. And they give you a card and say, here's the key card to the elevator. It's all the way at the top, right? And then he closes the door, and that one starts to move off into the distance, running around looking for whatever these hooligans or hoodlums are that are throwing rocks. And so now you have access to the building, and you have access to the elevator. And so we're going to cut to Desmond, who ran off like a little girl.
Yeah, just like that. So Desmond is going to run off, and I think I'm going to use, I had it. Sneak around is what I'm going to try to do.
Okay.
And so what he's trying to do is he says, I'm not even here, and then disappears. I'm going to, as quickly as I possibly can, generate enough speed to run up the building towards the hole that Connor went in, because I've seen Connor, and he causes destruction wherever he goes. And he's 20 floors from the roof, and he has to either get somewhere else or get all the way to the bottom, and that's not going to go safely by himself. So he's going to go up there and make sure he doesn't die or kill everyone. One of the two.
He'd kill everyone. Yeah. Let's be real.
So I'm pretty much using the same things I used before. Actually, I'm going to use Parkour Artist, Nimble as a Fox, blah, 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 Super Speed, the shoes, and I'm going to act, because this is a new role, I'm going to use Time Space Overload as well, because why not? Because why not, right?
Yep. And wait a minute. So you're sneaking around?
Yeah. So I want to so I was in public view, so I want to basically get out as quietly as possible, then up the building, and no one sees me do it.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Sneaking around.
Shit. All right. Describe to us doing your flash thing as you go run up the side of the building.
Yeah. So he puts his hands up, and everyone's pointing guns at him or whatever, or they have their hands on their guns, and he's like, I wasn't even here, and then he just boop, you just see him disappear, as if it would look like he can teleport to everyone else, but everyone feels like a slight draft as he's gone, and he just kind of disappears and then runs back full speed up the side of the building, and then disappears into the window that Connor went into.
At which point you see Connor beginning to kind of assess the room that he's in, Katana out, and you feel this whoosh behind you, and you hear this almost like a pop or a snap behind you, Connor, and he's whirl around.
He's there. Yeah. And then the guards, they have their heads on guns. Yeah. And they say, who's there?
Get your breath. Get your breath.
Did you kill anyone? No?
I haven't killed anyone yet.
All right. It's been 3 seconds.
Clearly, guy that I thought I killed last time, not dead.
I know.
I haven't killed anyone.
Right. Remember that time that girl drove into the building and killed that guy? Okay. They went in downstairs. We gotta go. Where are we going? Who do you even need to talk to?
Hashimoto.
Who is that?
I'm assuming the owner of Hashimoto's.
Okay. I thought it was like a motorsport company. All right, let's go downstairs, I guess. Oh, wait, no, he would live upstairs in the penthouse.
Yeah, where I fell off from?
Yeah.
Nobody's up there. It's black. Lights are out.
Okay. Well, maybe he has documents that say what rings do.
I can take a look. I suppose it doesn't matter. I've done shadier things. I am a politician. Well, I'm an aide to a politician, so, goes with the territory.
Brutal.
Okay.
Brutal.
So we head upstairs or downstairs? Your call. I'm just making sure you don't get hurt.
Let's head upstairs.
All right. Okay. Let's go.
Breath back?
Yep. I'm good.
Good. Let's go.
All right. So we're going to cut to Vivian and Ebenezer making their way up the elevator. traveling the 100 stories to the top floor.
Is there an elevator operator?
Nope. You had a key card. The guards gave you a key card.
Oh, so what floor are we going, Vivian?
The top, obviously.
Oh, all right. And he starts pressing every other floor. Ah, there we are. So, what are we doing here? What is, like, I know we have to talk to Hashimoto. I know Connor wants to know about the relic, but what are you doing here, Vivian? And we have plenty of time. I've hit every other floor.
Yeah, I noticed. Well, I have inns, a lot of the high-end clubs in town. I like to stay informed. I like to stay on the pulse of things happening in the city. I like people to see me when I need to be seen.
Oh, that's a good ability to have. I kind of do the same thing. If I don't want people to see me, I just make them not see me.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting.
And then he'll snap his fingers and, like, all of a sudden just blink out of existence. And then he'll, like, blink right next to you, but on the opposite side. Yeah. It's a very useful trick. I picked it up a long time ago. It keeps people from grabbing your ankle and, pulling a corner. Oh, if I capture you, do I get wishes? I mean, I granted his wish. He's technically in the building.
I suppose you did.
I didn't say I'd get him safely into the building.
No, one must never make those kind of agreements.
Of course. And then he goes over, and then he does the thing where he presses down the closed elevator button and hits the top penthouse floor to override the lift to say skip all floors except for the one that I'm pressing.
She hasn't really, exposed a lot of her powers at this point, so she's still just a little, like, sort of, I guess, a bit curious as to what. Seems to spend a lot of time, like, watching you, making note of everything that you're doing, but not saying too much. And her phone is just constantly buzzing with activity.
Does that thing ever run out of battery? Or do you keep one of those battery pack charging things in your purse?
Never.
Or clutch, whichever you prefer to wear.
Oh, it doesn't run out. It's special to me.
It's special? Special how? He dangles his charm bracelet over, or, near it.
It's my connection to the world.
Oh, I have that too. We actually have a bunch of them underneath our shops. Ley lines and whatnot. Don't go near the ley lines.
I don't
tear you to pieces.
I don't dabble in that new age stuff.
New age? I'll have you know that we've been setting up ley lines beneath cities for many, many generations, and for many, many generations to come.
I see.
New age. You're sitting here with your big hair and your cellular device, totally disconnected to the world.
My family are Romanian.
Oh, Oh, that's nice. I like Romanian food. Maybe you can bring some by the cobbler shop. I'll make you a nice pie.
Mm-hmm.
The elevator slows down to arrive.
Oh, here we are.
I'll get myself all make sure I'm like extra pretty before I get off. You gotta get in the right pose for when the doors open, because you gotta make your entrance, right? Has to be dramatic.
Doors slide open. You see a long hallway in front of you. Opens up to about twice the size of what the space of the elevator. Down this hallway, about 100 feet, you can hear music, and there's a set of double doors. It sounds like light jazz sort of coming from it, but like sort of a bebop kind of a jazz kind of a thing, not overwhelming. At the door, talking to what appears to be a doorman, is the individual in the wheelchair and 3 big burly guys. And at that moment, as the two of you are stepping out into the elevator, or from the elevator into the hallway, you hear another ding, and Connor and Desmond step out from the other elevator, stepping into the hallway. As one of the big burly individuals kind of turns around and kind of looks in your direction.
Oh, those are the ninjas, he says very loudly. I thought a ninja was never supposed to be seen or known about. They're kind of shite, really.
First one turns back around, kind of taps the shoulder, and the other one points. Now there are 2 of them looking at you.
Top of the morning or evening to you, boyos. What do you seem to be doing there? Just standing around, not doing anything particularly productive.
Is anybody else doing anything at this point?
I got them wrapped around.
No, we're watching this shit show happen.
I've walked ahead like I don't know him anymore.
He just appears right next to you. I got them right where I want them.
Johnny, just as a metagaming question, do they actually recognize me, especially the one that I cut in half? Is he looking at me?
I'm not going to tell you that, because this is not a meta thing. This is a scene situation. Nobody is responding to you yet, other than the fact that the 2 of them are now looking at you and pointing in that direction. At which point they tap the 3rd one, and the 3rd one kind of looks around, and they're all intently staring down at the 4 of you, especially the one who keeps yapping at them. Embarrassing Vivian.
Look, you guys are very big, but I don't understand how you guys are ninjas. Like, you're big and noticeable. Like, you stick out like a sore thumb.
The 3 of them turn back and begin to kind of whisper into the ear of the man in the wheelchair.
Is anyone else in here besides the man in the wheelchair?
Man in the wheelchair, the 3 burly individuals, and a doorman who is now taking a very, very, very large amount of interest in the exchange that's going on between the 2 groups.
Okay. And they're in, what was it, like 2 elevators are side by side?
2 elevators are side by side. Both little groups, kind of step together. Crew comes back together. These guys are down the hallway about 100 feet, or were at 100 feet. Now Vivian and Ebenezer are about 50 feet from them, walking forward. And I think Connor is a little uncertain of what to do at this point.
Ebenezer gestures towards the man in the wheelchair. Now that one I'd expect to be a ninja. If there was any doubt, he'd be a ninja, because he looks like he could kick some serious ass.
I think we're gonna have to fight him again.
You must excuse. I'll look up at the doorman and apologize to the man in the wheelchair. You must excuse him. He's a little off today.
I haven't had my depends changed in like 2 hours.
Do you really say that?
Yeah, he does.
Face danger.
Face danger.
You take sass damage.
because as Vivian and you are stepping up to the back of them, and Vivian is starting to apologize, you say that one of them throws a punch at you.
You hear Connor say to Desmond,
Are you ready to shake the pillars of heaven and earth?
You don't even have a mask on anymore.
You don't even have your sword out yet.
You're just in a suit.
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
A clover for luck, a rabbit foots for speed,
Oh god.
Elusive,
Okay.
Fey magic,
Okay.
and I think a horseshoe for strength.
Why does strength apply here?
Because if he's throwing a punch, he might grab the arm and try to twist it behind the boy's back.
Face danger does not imply that you're going to catch the arm, but okay, I'll allow it.
Okay.
Do it.
15.
Okay.
I grab the arm and I'm going to put it behind the guy's back. Do a reversal basically on him. Now, hold on. Look.
Face danger.
Same things again.
Face danger again as the second one begins to throw a punch at you.
And then he grabs the other one and he throws him to the... Look here. Listen, you little gobshites.
Face danger.
And then he kicks the other one in the face. Listen here, you little gobshites. I'm here to see Hashimoto. Now, if you keep throwing punches at me, I'm going to teleport you all into the Tims.
Except you grab the first two, you got them. The third one begins to throw lightning at you. You kind of sidestep it. It dances around, and I'm going to use a hard move. And Vivian's going to have to throw a face danger. So what you're going to do here? What you're going to do here, Vivian, is you're going to let's look at your descriptions and figure out what defensively makes sense to add as power tags. So looking at your descriptions, cannot be harmed by fists, bullets, or blades doesn't really seem to apply, but I think you're going to still be a little bit more invulnerable to this, right? So from your invulnerable, theme book, that's basically what I would pull from that. So I think you're going to take one power attack from that, or you're going to take one pop from that. From your gymnastics, you look stronger than you are, or you appear, or you're stronger than you appear. I think you definitely would apply that as a second power tag.
Okay. And then I have bonus as well.
You have the what?
The strength bonus.
You do have the strength bonus. You do have the strength bonus as well. And so let's go ahead and say that's 3 again, and just go ahead and roll face danger.
Okay.
Great success. Okay, so the lightning dances around Ebenezer and these two individuals, and it kind of bounces off the wall and shoots towards you, and you just sort of spin out of the way as well. But the lightning just begins to sort of coalesce down the hallway towards Connor and Desmond. And so Ebenezer's got a moment to be able to do something, and Vivian's got a moment to be able to do something.
He's gonna teleport the two boys with a snap of his fingers.
You have two hands. You have both hands occupied. How are you snapping?
He's going to release them, but he's going to push them down.
Okay.
And then he's going to look towards Connor and Desmond, and he's going to snap his fingers.
Okay. Snap your fingers. How are you doing?
I'm going to do it with a clover for luck.
Okay.
Teleportation, Fey magic, and that is it.
There is going to be 2 story tags that are going to affect this roll negatively.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is dark magic.
Okay.
And the second one is going to be iron will. Great success. You have 1 juice to spend here. I'm sorry, you have 2 juice to spend here.
2 juice. Summon both Desmond and Connor to my side.
Instead of transporting these 2 guys away?
Yeah. No, because he's trying to get them out of the way of the lightning.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I assumed that you were transporting the two individuals that you were holding on to away. Okay.
No, because he notices that the lightning's going past Vivian and to the boys, so he teleports the boys.
Okay. All right. So the guy in the wheelchair begins to move forward into the room as the doorman allows him into it. The doorman closes the door behind and then stands in front of it, but doesn't do anything else. Vivian, you have an opportunity to do something here. What would you like to do?
We could have been in there already.
I mean, we could have, but really, these guys are ninjas, and they're out here. They're in plain sight.
Like, I don't know anything about these people. I've never, interacted with them. I've never had any issues with them. So,
technically, neither has Ebenezer. Let's be completely honest.
He just knows that they're ninjas.
Yeah. So I think there's these two of the bodyguards are on the ground.
So they're not on the ground. He just held them. He just got their arms behind their back, held them, and then let them go when he decided to snap his fingers and bring Desmond and Connor closer.
Okay, so I can see all three of the guys there.
Yes. Yeah, they're all standing in front of you at this point. And one of them has sort of coalescing from his hands and is just kind of dancing down, and all of a sudden Desmond and Connor are just kind of in right there in front of you.
This is not what my night was supposed to be like. I'm very annoyed.
Talk to these guys. They're the ones who's kicking and screaming and throwing lightning.
Yeah. How about, I wonder if I can just kind of like summon up a sort of very commanding, intimidating kind of a presence. And just kind of, where you've got that, like, the hair and the dress are kind of, flowing in some sort of unseen wind. And it's like that thing with Gandalf, with the background.
Mm-hmm.
And she will just look at everyone and just enough. And just basically command everyone to stop. Okay.
All right. So that seems to me like a similar role to the convince that you did before. And we give you 3 power tags for that based on the type of the type of descriptions that you had in your short description. So go ahead and roll with 3 power tags.
Okay.
The strength is not going to apply here from the
No.
Excellent. Minor success. Okay. So minor success in this particular case means that while you don't completely affect them to change their immediate intent, you can stop from doing immediate harm in this situation. And so the 3 of them, the one shooting lightning out of his hands kind of just pulls up, turns to you, and the other 2 kind of look at you as well, as one of them is reaching out for Ebenezer, but he's looking directly at you, Vivian. So you've got their attention for the moment. What do you say to them?
Knock this shit off.
Yeah. That this is completely unacceptable behavior.
I agree. Completely.
Assaulting people in this club.
I'm an old man.
This is not the time and place. What business do you have attacking me?
And me. He's just like sitting there echoing.
I just look over at you like you're some kind of irritating insect. And you can see she's got her eyes are blood red.
I kind of look at her, just like, deadpan face. I think I just shit myself a little bit. Just a bit. I think I did a cold brown. All right, boys. Look, I don't want to deal with this lady anymore. I mean, she's crazy. You thought, all right, boys. And he like gets the other ones up, and he dusts one of their suits off, and straightens them. Now let that be a lesson to you. You don't mess with her.
The one that was shooting lightning from his hands kind of looks from Vivian to Ebenezer to Vivian, taps the other two on their shoulders, steps forward to the doorman, whispers something to the doorman. The three of them are let in, and the door is closed. And the doorman steps back in front of
Hey, Connor, man, we've done like a lot of like superhero stuff before, and that was cool and like for the greater good and was like stopping bad guys, but this is like a you thing. These people
I feel
are
like
weird.
it's not a me thing.
These people are weird. Those people are dangerous. I might just say this one out.
You can. It's all you, man. You can do what you want.
That lady's creepy.
I brought you in because I thought you'd have my back.
I did until you brought in Snappy McGee and Lady Fierceface. Like, now we have, like, I don't know if they're good guys or bad guys at this point.
Snappy McGee, look, I am nothing like that 2-bit hack. My name, you can call me Snappy McAfee.
That can't
but
be a
Snappy
real person.
McGee.
You can't be serious.
Oh, yeah, he is. He works for the Haberdashers.
I don't. And he pulls out his notebook and you see him underline something. All right, look, I'm going to go in here, but, like, I'm watching you two.
All right.
Going to get us in to this place.
I was backing you youngsters up, like you said. I had your back. You guys were coming off the elevator. I saw these 3 brutes down at the end of the hall. I said that they weren't going to harm you. And did you get hurt? No. Ebenezer keeps his promises. You owe me a favor, Connor.
I don't think that's true. I was going to be fine no matter what. Oh, wait, no, he can owe you a favor. Yeah, that's fine.
Actually, I didn't ask for you to help me, and besides, you still owe me 2 wishes.
Oh, you want another wish? What's your second wish?
No, I'm counting that as my wish.
You're counting that no. All right. Okay, you have 1 wish left. You better use it now.
Open the door by yourself. Don't teleport anyone. Don't use magic.
Okay. And I go up to the doorman and I pull out a wallet and I pull out $500 and I fold it and I hand it towards him, and he's going to convince the doorman by apologizing very sincerely about the outburst. He was just attempting to give them, a good hazing, and then they threw hands first, and he had to defend himself, and he's going to do that with the money, dressed impressed, a twinkle in my eye. And he's going to slip a card for the cobbler into the money. And I think we could say illusory. No, not because I can't use magic. Never mind. So he's just going to use those 2.
Okay.
Oh, and he has the +1 for being bespoked.
You do have the +1 for being bespoked, but you do have a -1 because when he spoke to, when the guy that fired lightning spoke to the doorman, I applied a hard move and gave a story tag of not allowed to enter. So you have -1 on this roll, so you're going to roll with 2.
I'm going to use one of my natural 20s that I have saved up.
Can't use magic in this case. That's Connor's wish.
That's not magic.
A crit would be considered magic in this case.
It was given to me by God.
You're not on a mission from God.
All right.
Come on, you guys have been succeeding. Oh my God! See, even when the shit's going. Wait a minute, there's still 3 going on there, man. You need to remove one of those.
I did. Oh, yeah. Okay. So
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. It's all good. It's all good. So you were worried about using a crit. I see how. So the doorman kind of looks at the money, looks at you, looks at Maddie, or sorry, looks at Vivian, looks back at you, looks at Vivian, waves her forward, and says, "I'm doing this for her and not for you. Thanks." And he pockets the money.
Oh, that's fine. And I look over at Connor. You still owe me a favor.
I'll thank the doorman and and tell him after tonight I don't think he'll be coming back.
You are absolutely positively right. I won't be coming back. Absolutely not. I don't want to go anywhere where somebody lays hands on me.
I'm gonna and I'll go.
Oh, that bullshit.
And so you hear him mumble under his breath, "Probably not leaving here either." As the 4 of you kind of step inside.
Not my circus. Not my circus, not my monkeys. And I'm gonna walk in.
Nice.
Go get myself a nice big glass of wine.
Wait a minute. Did you just call me a monkey?
Ebenezer gets way too worked up just about the smallest thing. So as you step inside, you find yourself in an incredibly large room about the size of like a ballroom. There are beautiful open windows out into the city proper. Then you see some clouds and some various lights from a couple of the other buildings, but mostly you see the city, the cityscape under you, the sprawling, sort of metropolis that this city is. The room itself has various couches and tables, and there's a 3-piece jazz band sort of playing off in one corner on a little dais, a little stage, just kind of raised a little bit. And off to your left is a beautiful bar stocked with pretty much anything that you would ever want to drink. The place is very quiet otherwise. There's a couple of tables that are occupied, but for the most part, it's really empty. You see that the 3 individuals that you just had a conflict with, that Ebenezer kind of picked a fight with, are standing next to the person in the wheelchair who is talking to a Japanese gentleman off in one corner. And the exchange appears to be a little heated, but you can't hear what's going on. How would you guys like to proceed into this?
He's going to go over to the bar. And he's going to pour himself a drink. And he's going to pour...
There's a bartender, so no, you're not going to pour yourself a drink. But okay, what are you getting?
He's going to... I thought this was just somebody's penthouse.
Oh, no, this is a full-on club.
Okay. He goes up to the barkeep and asks for 4 drinks, one of which the Japanese gentleman enjoys. He assumes that he's a regular. One of which the wheelchair individual would enjoy. He's going to ask for a nice malt for himself. And he's going to point to the guy who threw lightning, and he says, give me a glass of your shittiest swill for that one.
You're muted, Johnny.
Oh, on the house? Wonderful. Thank
you. Just
you.
order what you want, sir.
Connor, I still don't know why we're here.
Right. You know what?
We're finding out about my relic.
All malts. Just get 3 malts and 1 quarter malt with a dish soap water in it.
Just for you, sir. What do you want?
I told you. 3 malts and 1 with a little bit of whiskey with dishwater in it. I want 4 glasses. I'm going to drink them all. Not in front of you.
He puts out one glass, a tumbler with a dram of whiskey, and that's all he does. He slides it across.
I'm
Back
sorry,
when you
you're
want
missing
water.
3.
And he steps away.
Which one's Hashimoto?
Ebenezer hops the bar.
I'm assuming the Japanese one.
That sounds racist.
He pops up. That's racist.
The moment that you start to hop the bar, you feel a hand grab your shirt from behind and pull you back over and sit you into the chair. That's it. That's not very polite, sir. And as you look up, you see a 6'6" Japanese individual, very muscular, very bulky. Tattoos can be visible under his shirt and coat, and you can see that the muscles are straining against him, and he just puts you back down. Now drink your drink, sir.
Oh, I was, but I'm missing 3 of them. I was going to get you one too. What do you like? Do you like malts?
He walks away.
Oh, of course, and he hops into the bar again.
Grabs you again, pulls you back over, sits you down. Now sit down, sir, and enjoy your drink.
Connor steps in.
Watching this is kind of humorous because every time he steps over, it's like the guy appears out of nowhere and just kind of brings him back. And he steps away. And the guy's there the moment that Ebenezer starts to move.
Ebenezer gets up, waits for the guy to show up, and then he's going to snap his finger and teleport sitting outside the club.
Do it.
Okay. We'll just do Fey Magic, teleportation, and Clover for luck.
There are 2 negatives
Okay.
against you. One is Hashimoto, story tag. The other is dark magic.
Okay. It's a miss.
So what happens when Connor fails to snap? When you go like this and he doesn't disappear?
Ebenezer.
You mean Ebenezer?
I'm sorry, Ebenezer. Thank you.
He'll take the whiskey and he'll just sip on it. Oh, you arrived just as I knew you would. So about that drink, what do you like? What's your favorite drink out of all of them? Do you like a tequila? Are you a tequila boy?
He takes the glass out of your hand as you're trying to drink, puts it down, and says, "You're cut off, sir."
Oh, this is what happens when you try to be diplomatic. All right. You've shown me great disrespect, especially when I asked for 4 drinks and they only gave me 1. I went over to make
Grabs
sure
you by
that
the collar and
Oh,
starts
you-
to escort
Are you
to
putting
a
hands
door.
on me? Sir? Excuse me, sir. Are you putting your hands on me?
He kicks you to the front door.
He kicks. He kicks. Oh,
kicks?
man. He kicks. Okay. He's going to turn around and he's going to he's going to hit him with all he's got. And he's going to try to punch this guy in the nards because he's tall enough. And that is the first thing that's eye level to him.
Okay, you can try if you want.
You know what? I'll use one of those crits.
Okay. So the moment that you hit him and you hit him right in his crotch, he tips over and falls on top of you. Another hard move being used against you. And you are now...
I have been sitting at the bar with a big, like a bottle of wet red wine, drinking, and she is just cackling with laughter.
Oh,
Thinks
shut
this
up. You shut
hilarious.
your mouth. You stop that cackling. Look, I was trying to be, and he uses his horseshoe of strength to push the guy up, and he gets up and he dusts himself off. I was trying to be diplomatic. All right.
grabs you from the back again. Starts to escort you out the door.
Literally, I will teleport you into space and you will not breathe.
Pushes you out the door.
And then he teleports behind him and pushes him out the door.
Teleport. Do it.
Yep. I will use another one of my crits.
Okay. You push him out the door. The door closes. Hard move. He teleports behind you. Grabs you again.
I'm going to teleport again and use the crit.
This cycle happens for a while until it gets tired and says, "Are you going to behave yourself?"
I don't know. Are you going to go to me to the bar with a drink?
He looks over at Vivian and says, "Are you going to help him behave himself?"
Well, I do hear that lobotomy is very effective.
Oh, you're right. Come down here. If you're not going to have a drink, you and I'm going to give you a lobotomy with my fist. Or are you just going to come to the bar and have a drink with me? I just want to have a drink with you. I'm trying to be nice.
To do a job, and you've done nothing but get in the way of that job, as well as.
I mean, he's here. I mean, he just hasn't talked to Hashimoto yet.
Oh, you can just shut the fuck up and let me do my thing.
Hey. And it's just Desmond is standing like next to the door. He just like stepped out of the door while the whole fiasco is happening. Look, we're just here to talk to a guy named Hashimoto. And everyone keeps doing dumb shit.
To arrange that.
Okay, if your name's Hashimoto, just put your hand up.
I'll introduce you.
Thanks.
I'm going to look over, because I was just waiting for him to be done with his conversation, right? Because I don't want to interrupt a conversation. So, I've just sort of been sitting there, like, amusedly watching Ebenezer make a complete ass of himself. But I've been, also just sort of keeping an eye on Hashimoto and just waiting for him to be free.
So he spends a fair bit of time speaking to the individual in the wheelchair, and it's a heated exchange. When that conversation ends, that individual pulls his wheelchair over to a table, and the three storms kind of flank him.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody comes up and serves him a drink, and you look at this very old Chinese man, just paper thin skin, hair just sort of in patches, white, hanging down, a little a Fu Manchu, which was a terrible description for the mustache, but I can't think of a better mustache and goatee kind of description at that point. And wearing an impeccable suit. And Hashimoto moves into something else, and that's the first time you actually get a chance to really see him. He's an individual, he's an Asian, or he's a Japanese gentleman, about early 50s, impeccably dressed, impeccably groomed. Even impresses Ebenezer with his shoe choice. One of Ebenezer's competitors who happens to be quite good at making Italian loafers.
If that is the case, Ebenezer would be right in front of him. Excuse me, sir. May I ask you, are those legitimate shoes?
Excuse me, sir. You have been causing trouble in my establishment.
I was trying to bring you a drink, good sir. Because I'd like to talk business.
He turns and walks away.
I'm, trying to sort of get his attention.
Oh, right. Of course. All right, Mr. Hashimoto. You just walk away now. Just let me make a few phone calls. All right? Okay. Just
base danger.
Clover for luck.
Mm-hmm.
Rabbit foots for speed.
Mm-hmm.
Elusive.
Mm-hmm.
Fey magic and teleportation.
Dark magic, Hashimoto, and incredibly fast are the three negatives against you. Story tags.
Okay, hold on.
I would suggest you use a crit here if you have any left. Oh, that's right, you don't.
Yep.
Great success. As you face danger, you feel him come up, moving very quickly, and he pushes you back. You spin and kind of turn around, and he grabs you with his hand again and kind of brings you back in front of him. But you don't get pressed against the wall and slammed there as he was trying to do. And he says, looking directly at you, and his eyes are blazing red, "Show some respect in my establishment, or you will be asked to leave."
I was trying to show you respect by getting you a drink, but your barkeep is shit, and your muscle boy over there has shitty teleportation.
Please leave.
Dude.
Do you spit at him?
Yeah, he put his hands on him.
Face danger.
All right. Mild success.
You are pushed back with a force, and you take bruised ribs, status 2, as he pushes you back, throwing you towards the door, and you're having to slide. You're basically sliding as you do this, kind of all the way back. And you're almost to the door, but you kind of catch yourself, and you see the rest of the room kind of watching with mild interest at this exchange. Now, I have given you an opportunity, sir, to leave.
No, you
quietly.
really haven't. You've just been yelling at me when I've been trying to be nice, right? I came up to you and I wanted to make conversation. I said, "Are those shoes legitimate?" Because I actually know the fucker who made your shoes. Okay, right? Me and him are we're
may leave now. Thank you. And he turns and begins to walk away.
Connor interjects. Mr. Hashimoto, you have my deepest apologies for what the little one has
Whoa,
said.
excuse me, little one. Look, Connor, you don't need to know anything about that ring from this gobshite. I actually know a few people that you could talk to who might know exactly what your ring is.
I'm going to walk up, and while Ebenezer is talking, in the middle of his conversation, I'm going to just put my hand over his face and push him away.
Yeah.
I'm she's a lot stronger than she looks. And she's just going to...
Of course she is. She has that enchanted choker.
Yes. She's just going to push him out of the way.
And I mean, he is only 5'2", so he's small.
Seriously, he's like my height. That's not even fair.
And I'll be like, my deepest apologies, sir. I'm not really sure what. He seems to have tagged along, and he's just been nothing but trouble. We've been trying to get rid of him. This young man is the one that I brought to visit with you. He had some questions he was hoping you might be able to answer.
And he, as you begin to speak, Vivian, he slows his steps, hearing the muffled, I'm sure, coming from Ebenezer. And he kind of pauses, turns, and looks at Connor. And he waves you forward, and he continues to move towards the back of the establishment.
Connor walks forward with him to keep pace.
Mm-hmm.
As he steps towards a series of double doors. He steps out onto a balcony, kind of overlooking the city. By the way, this was the opposite side of the building that you were not. You were falling down, so that's why you weren't able to grab onto this. And so he looks out at the city and says, "Why are you here seeing me?"
Oscar Gallows. Do you know the name?
You mean Oscar Bjorn?
Wow. Potato.
His name is Oscar Bjorn. He goes by Mr. Gallows as an affectation.
Same individual.
Show some respect.
Really?
You're quite right. Respect is what is paramount. Speaking of respect and making good on promises, Oscar was supposed to make good on a promise that he made to me for doing work for him. I have a specific artifact in my possession. He was to help me find out about what this artifact has done to me and what it allows me to do. However, the individual that was supposed to originally give me the information has now become difficult to locate, as it were. He recommended that I come see you, and that you may have some insight to give regarding this particular object.
He looks at you for the first time full on, and he says, "Show me what you've come to ask me about."
He holds out his hand because he's still reluctant to actually take the ring off at this point. He holds out his hand, and what he sees a blood red ring with blood red stone that is in between two dragon claws.
Mm-hmm.
And then what he does is he holds it out, in a flat manner, and then he materializes the spirit katana in front of him he's holding it out in a non-threatening manner, trying to get him to ascertain what this particular item does and what it's done to him, and done in regards to what his mythos may be.
And so as you materialize the sword, he looks it up and down a little bit, kind of glancing at it, and he says, "Who were you originally supposed to speak to about this?"
Someone by the name of Egg Shen.
He chuckles. That old wizard, he really knows nothing of Japanese weaponry.
He mentioned that it was Japanese in origin, but he wasn't able to go into any sort of detail at the time.
And I surely can. And at that, you're going to face danger.
All right. So, let's see. Yeah, I really don't have anything to offer on this one, other than maybe calm the storm.
Sure you do. There's got to be something, because he's basically committing a physical attack against you.
Well, it could be athletic, in that case, to help him get out of the way.
Don't forget about the speed from the shoes that Connor crafted for you.
Shoes, yep, that too.
Okay.
So let's see. There would be that. There would be.
Oh, I didn't know Connor cobbled shoes.
Sorry, Ebenezer. All right. Be good. All right. So the shoes. So the shoes add that. There's the athletics as well. Go ahead and face.
What about the weapon, the katana? Because it was already out.
Sure.
At the time.
Sure.
Okay. And would you say that ancient swordsmanship applies in the aspect that he would be able to use it to deflect any sort of attack? Or not deflect it, but at least anticipate?
Possibly. But yes, well, I'll go ahead and add it.
Okay. And since I'm actually alone on this, I'm going to actually invoke a weakness tag for my logos, which is can't do this alone.
Okay, great. Roll it.
All right. And that was a face danger?
Yes.
Great
okay,
success.
awesome. So you're holding the sword out. He says, he's talking about the Japanese weaponry, and you notice a movement out of the corner of your eye. A punch is coming at you, but the punch is coming incredibly fast, and so you move your blade and sort of dance out of the way and just kind of spin, coming back up in a ready position, as you can see that he is materializing a sword in his hand as well. But as he materializes the sword, you see that the sword is incredibly large, and his form begins to kind of shift a little bit. And you recognize that there's almost samurai armor that he is wearing. And from that, you can also see in the mask that there is sort of these tusks that are coming down from inside of his mask, and you can see the eyes are kind of smoking a little bit, and they're like intensely red as he makes a swing and begins to essentially come in for an attack, a telegraphed attack, kind of showing you what he's doing. So you're going to go toe to toe with him.
Okay, so we'll go can turn into any weapon, doubly potent against aggressors, ancient swordsmanship. I'm going to invoke demonic rage as a weakness tag. I'll take athletic as well, and then calm in the storm. And then also, let me just take a look here. I think I still have to roll this, made for toe to toe. So yeah, if I get a dynamite on this, I can make all 3 abilities happen instead. Great success. You're muted, Johnny.
Okay, go ahead. What are you doing here?
In this case, what he's going to do is since it's dynamite, he gets all of the options to choose from. So he's going to achieve a goal which would be to either, I'm going to leave it up to you because I don't know how we want to play this, because it could be either gain an advantage or achieve a goal, which could be to disarm him, or could just be to meet his blade and gain an upper advantage on that attack. The other thing is I would be able to get him good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can still block, dodge, and counter their best attempts.
Okay, so what are you doing here? So what do you want to do with that? I mean, just using all 3 of those abilities. Explain to me what you want to do here.
Okay, so in which case, what I want to do is I'm going to actually, he's going to come up, block the blade, parry it out of the way, come back up, and be up in a ready stance, and then also, as he was getting it ready, just punch him in the face across with the cross guard of the katana across his face, and still have it come up in a ready stance.
Okay, so as you do that, you knock his helmet off, taking his mask off as well. It kind of twirls a little bit, and under you see that his skin has changed color. It is ashen white. His hair is brilliant white, almost snow white, and his eyes are red, and they are still smoke coming from it. And you see this maniacal grin, but you see a little trickle of blood sort of coming down his mouth where you hit him, as he just, as you kind of hit him and come into that ready position, and he moves in with another swing and to attack, giving you another opportunity for to go toe to toe. Unless you want to come up with something, unless you can think of another way to go at this and potentially do either hit him with all you got, or maybe change the game in some way.
I'm gonna go toe to toe, I think, again, but I'm gonna use a crit on this.
Okay. All right.
In which case, I will again, if he's coming in with an attack, he's going to come in and is he coming in? If he comes in an overhand arc, he's going to come back up over, kick out, and kick him in the stomach, pushing him away, and then again go back into another ready position and be prepared. And then you're going to see his eyes flash red, and you're going to hear him, kind of gruffly say,
"What do you think you're doing?"
Testing your limits, and he's swinging around and comes in with a swiping attack that goes across. That would be cutting you head, from shoulder to hip in a sweeping motion. He attacked you.
Okay, and then in this case,
you still got the thing engaged. It's hilarious listening to your voice.
oh, whoops.
It's okay. It's perfect. You can leave it. You can leave it engaged for the scene. It's kind of funny.
Let me just see here.
So he would go ahead and I'm going to do it again, go toe to toe, because I can't think of a way to get behind him to hit him with all you got. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll this one instead of actually critting. So I'm going to go ahead and go.
Well, you still have 2 crits left, I believe. So you
crits.
So just, I mean, think about that in the scene, right? I mean, you could again do another crit and just kind of take advantage of that. Or if you really want to take the chance and roll, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm hoping that the RNG gods are looking at me favorably. I mean, because you guys have been kicking ass. Only Alex is the only one who's had one, failure here. So
yeah, you know what? I will take the crit on this because but who knows? Maybe we will, see the man in the wheelchair. But I'll still take the chance and use a crit on this one.
Okay.
In which case he's gonna hit he's gonna actually let me just take a look at the back for a second. I'm gonna achieve a goal, in which case he's going to disarm him either by I don't know if his katana could shatter, or if his spirit blade could shatter, or if it could just dissipate. He's going to go ahead and try to hit it so forcefully that it would actually break his concentration at that point, so that it would dissipate and leaving Connor with the advantage.
Okay, so as you come in and you hit his blade in such a way, it doesn't dissipate and it doesn't shatter, but it does go swinging from his hand, sort of kind of twirling, end over end into the distance. And as it does, that's when it sort of dissipates, as he gets really angry and comes in for one final attack as he comes in to kind of punch you with both hands. Face danger.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and choose athletic. The shoes. Since I've got the katana, I'm going to use it to block the attack.
Okay.
I'll use ancient swordsmanship as well. Doubly potent against aggressors, considering he's attacking me. And then calm within the storm.
Okay. Excellent.
Great success.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So he comes in and he kind of throws the punch, and you just kind of dance around and kind of spin, bring your katana blade around and bring it right up to his throat, giving you a position on him and holding it as he starts to laugh. And his laugh gets bigger and more hearty, and just really just sort of this great chuckle. And he kind of, steps back a little bit and, slowly laughing. And he says, you can only know somebody when you truly fight them. What is your question, Connor? And he just steps back, and you see him sort of like the armor sort of diminish. And he comes back, and he's now that impeccably dressed with Italian shoes that are not made by Ebenezer.
You think he's safe? As he shifts back, Ebenezer's gonna snap his fingers, teleports the shoes off of him over the balcony, dropping 100 stories below.
As he's shrinking back, he's like, "Ask me your." And he looks inside,
and you see Ebenezer going like this.
And he looks back at Connor and he says, "Ask me your questions and then take him out of here, please."
Yeah, I do apologize for him, Mr. Hashimoto. That one's a little different, to be diplomatic. So my question is, what can you tell me about this ring? What is it? And what has it done to me
Damn it.
to cause this to materialize? Because he's still holding the katana.
Okay, so this is going to be exploring your mythos. So you're going to mark it as such. You're going to get two answers, and essentially that's going to be I can't. It's not in front of me right now. I can't even think of what I'm trying to say. But you're going to. So the answer. So he looks at you and he kind of shifts it to the side. It's made you a guardian, a defender
of the galaxy.
He kind of looks. He looks at you and he says, "For the peasants who can't defend themselves, that's what it's making you. What is it? It is your conduit to ultimate power or ultimate destruction. It is your choice." And I suspect, and as he looks inside, you can see the old man in the wheelchair having a drink. That will be your enemy quite soon.
He looks at him thoughtfully and says, kind of bows his head slightly. You've given me a lot to think on. Thank you for this. But before I go, I did notice that conversation between you and that man seemed to go rather sour. What was it regarding?
A difference of opinion in how the peasants of the city should be treated in the coming war.
War.
And when he says peasant, he doesn't sound like a negative, right? It's the common folk is what he's implying,
right.
And there's an affection for that, almost like a lord looking out for his can't think of the word
Vassals.
I'm looking for. Yes,
Vassals.
Thank you. That's perfect.
Something I know about war, never experiencing it myself,
is that it never changes.
Is that the common folk suffer most.
And he shakes his head. Your friend, Mr. Gallows, as you call him, my friend Oscar. Tell him what you have learned. And tell him that you will be ready for the fight. Because it is coming. Now with that, and he bows deeply to you, showing you a great deal of respect. Take your weapon and escort that man out of my club.
He bows deferentially to him. Says, "Thank you for all that you've told me. I appreciate the information and the cordiality that it's received in." So he bows deeply as a sign of respect to Hashimoto. The katana vanishes, and he proceeds to walk back through the bar, and as he's walking, he walks slightly past Ebenezer, and then just kind of drags him a little to get him.
Ebenezer grabs his wrist and he squeezes it in an attempt to make it pop and hurt. You don't put hands on me, boy. I put hands on you. Release.
Fair enough.
And then he releases, and he's like, I've had a shitty time in this entire fucking club. So you know what I'm going to do? And he says this really loud. I'm going to put a nice little curse on it. You know, I learned this little trick from my good friend, Mr. Gold. And he puts his hands together. You never mess with somebody who's fey-like. And he's going to, as he passes out the door, he's going to touch the door handle, and he's going to curse it that that door will always remain closed unless the person deserves to be there. And he's going to do so with Fey magic. And I think that's a clover for luck because he wants to be lucky at this.
Actually, I'm not going to have you roll this. Because
Okay.
I actually like the idea of this because it's vague enough that I can exploit it anyways. So the curse stands.
But the curse will not it will not affect the cursor. I'm putting that. I'm just gonna put that.
No.
Yeah, I will roll to put.
You declared the rules as that only those that deserve to be there can enter that room.
I will.
I'm not suggesting that the person who cursed it doesn't deserve to be there. You don't know the rules of the room.
Yeah. All right.
I love it. I actually love it. I think it's great because now I can bring it back in some very interesting ways. So thank you. Yes, you step out. Connor steps out first. As biddies are following. Desmond, I'm assuming, just kind of steps away.
Desmond
and Hashimoto.
Desmond kind of walks out last, and he walks to the door and then turns around and says, "Hey, this was weird. Sorry."
Oh, this was absolutely weird and very, very rude and uncordial for somebody who's trying to do business. You know what?
I was sorry. And he waves to Hashimoto and then closes the door.
and he looks as the door closes. The gentleman triad will be paying a visit to you, Mr. Hashimoto. And the door closes.
I think I'd be trying to talk to Hashimoto if he's willing to talk to me.
Hashimoto comes up to you and says, "What are you doing running with that crowd? That's not your style, Vivian."
No, they're not. But I was asked by Mr. Gallows and expected that he would give me saner individuals.
Oscar's a little off these days. Oscar is a little off these days.
Yes, what is happening with him?
He senses the impending doom of the city. You should be very careful who you choose sides with, because his children are about to go to war with each other.
Sides are a thing I've never been good at.
Might be time to choose.
Well, you recommend?
I recommend the sister, Trisha.
I'll look into her.
And he
Thank
bows
you.
deeply to you. And he says, "You are most welcome."
Thank you. And I'll give him a very, very, respectful bow in return. You can call on me or any of my associates whenever you need.
It would be my pleasure to employ your services again, Vivian. And he escorts you to the door, opens it, looks out at Ebenezer, glares, gently presses a hand to your back, just kind of having you step out, and will fade on those demon eyes kind of staring at Ebenezer as the door just kind of closes, and we fade to black.
Guys, that was the third one shot of our charity stream. This was our fifth foray into the one shots of 6&Twenty Metropolis. They have taken a very hard left into Asian mythos and themes, combined with David Lopan, which I'm a fan of. So this was pretty cool. It was cool finding out what I know as someone who helped build the world what the guy was talking about at the end there. So it's cool seeing it actually come into fruition in the world in a plausible and physical way, which is dope. So let's go around and introduce our cast and crew, and then we'll prepare for the final one. We'll start with Zippy. Who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of the one shot?
I'm Zippy Zippo. You can find me here on Twitch at Zippy_Zippo. You can find me on Video Store Cowboys channel every Tuesday for 6&20's Metropolis, where I play Henry. I liked it. I had fun. I've had this goofy little MacGuffin-ish character in my files of my computer for a while now, and I was like, I really want to use Ebenezer and the Gentleman Triad and see how that works out.
Dope. I like it. Added some elements to the world. Adding some more, and I want to know what the hell just happened at the very end there with Vivian and Hashimoto, but I'll have to wait until maybe next month. So, Maddie, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of your first foray into not only 6&Twenty Metropolis, but City of Mist?
Oh, I really like it. I'm Mad Fishmonger. I do a lot of gaming online, and I have a little Etsy store where I make nerdy things. You can find me Mad Fishmonger on all the stuff, pretty much. I'm really enjoying this game, and I love the concept. I'm still working through the mechanics of it, but the whole story and the concept and the mythology and everything behind it is amazing, and it's so much fun. And I really like the storytelling style and how you just sort of think of things that are appropriate for the moment, and I love how you can just make something up and it's there, it's part of it. I like that, and I actually really enjoyed playing this character, and it would be super interesting to come back and try it again and learn some more.
Yeah. I'm down for it.
Cool. It's super fun.
Cool. Yeah, it is a super fun game. I like how it's narratively based, but they sort of weave in the rules from a couple of other games kind of smashed together into this. It's pretty dope. And our most active one-shot player, Brahms, who are you? Where can we find you? And what did you think of this one-shot?
It was awesome to be I would say half of the one-shot. I think Ebenezer kind of bustled his way in, but that's awesome. I loved his character, so I don't feel bad about that at all. That was pretty awesome.
Nice.
The only thing I was sad about was the fact that I didn't actually get to say what I wanted to say to him, which was the fact that we didn't actually get to shake on it. So the deal was null and void. So I don't owe him a favor.
You do owe him a favor, because that's not how Fey magic works.
We'll see.
But you can find me at Leppy83. I tweet out stuff about 6&Twenty quite regularly. What I would say is also, if you haven't seen this system and 6&Twenty, you need to do both. You need to check out the system through Son of Oak, and you need to go ahead and take a look at 6&Twenty, because the system and the world are both amazing and fun to play in. Johnny brings it to life quite eloquently, and I really like this particular setting quite a lot. And I would say, go ahead, support the charity that Mike does regularly on his channel. every month. Go ahead and do that stuff, and just enjoy some good RP.
Sweet. Before we jump over to Johnny, I will say, yes, go check out the YouTube. We have all of our videos up there from YouTube for your viewing pleasure. Also, go check out, in chat right now, you can see that there is the exclamation point missed. We are teaming up. We are partnering with the Son of Oak guys to give away the book. Not to give away the book, but there's a coupon code 6&20 fan. You get 10% off the book, the starter set, and the PDF if you so choose, any combination of those. And I think until Monday, it's free shipping. And with that, Johnny, who are you? Where can we find you? And what do you think of the one-shot?
Johnny Video Store Cowboy everywhere except on Twitter where it's VidStore Cowboy. What I think of the one-shot today? We touched on a little bit of the mythology, and we got a little bit more interesting characterizations from the two new quote-unquote characters in this world. I'm really kind of curious to play a little bit more with Vivian because I like the idea of what's going on with her. And Ebenezer is a big pain in the ass that I love to hate. And I love characters like that because what they do is they shake the pillars of heaven and make things a lot of fun. The one thing I will say is that I don't feel like we got exactly where I wanted to get to with this, so I'm looking forward to the next one shot and making that happen too, because that's going to be badass. So I had a good time. Congratulations, Mike, for all the money you've raised so far, and let's hit that goal, guys. Let's get all the way to that $1,000.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys very much. Thank you for playing. Thank you, Johnny, for running this game. Thank you guys for donating all the raids, the hype, the hosts, all that fun stuff that we've had in the past 3 hours that I haven't been able to shout out. We're going to take a quick break right here. We're going to load in with the next group. We're playing the Bluebeard's Bride, which is, I'm being alluded to the fact that it is a horror mystery game, but I don't believe the people because it's very pretty art and I'm playing a lady. So that can't be true. So come back in about 10 or so minutes and see me be a pretty, pretty lady. And for
Mike, you are a pretty, pretty lady.
I know. So it's going to be really easy role playing. So for now, we'll be right back. Bye-bye.